This is the Picardie, a Tier 7 premium French battleship. It is the main reward of the Rose of Picardie campaign, and the ship features 16 main guns that are pretty darn weak. But the highlight of the ship is definitely the secondaries, and the secondaries of the Picardie are probably the class of the game, along with the Atlantico probably, but these secondaries are pretty darn good, and this video will feature a secondary build for the Picardie. And with that, let's get into the setup of the ship and the commander, who is Michel Le Tir. And the thing is, you do have Michel Le Tir as the other secondary commander, but you can see here that Properly Meticulous and Master Mechanic are on the same 4th skill line, and so you're going to lose out on one of those. And here with Michel Le Tir, you do end up getting both of those skills, because Properly Meticulous is on the 3rd row and Master Mechanic is on the 4th row. But his base trait is ship's secondary battery shell damage. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Ship's secondary shell damage is improved by 10%. We do have Michel Le Tir maxed out. Inspirations are Haruna for secondary gun range and dispersion, and then Franz von Hipper for secondary gun range and shell grouping. So we're really maxing out the secondary capabilities of the Picardie with Michel Le Tir here. Not the one for nuisance is the first skill. Risk of catching fire is improved, as is the risk of flooding. And then we have Porcupine, secondary gun range, shell grouping, and dispersion are all improved. And as I said, Properly Meticulous is in the 3rd skill. Master Mechanic is in the 4th skill, and you do get 2 more repair party charges. So you get 5 repair party charges here with Guprate. If you select Master Mechanic, you're not going to get Properly Meticulous. So here you're going to get a benefit of both just by having Michel Le Tir. If you don't have Michel Le Tir, go with Emile Guprate. And then here we went with Will to Rebuild. Amount of HP recovered is 110%, and you'll see in the specs for the ship, the stats for the ship, that is pretty significant. HP recovered per second, and the duration is cut in half, though, but still the HP hit points per second that's recovered more than makes up with it. The special effect will auto repair when the HP is equal to or less than 20%, and that happens when you're within 3.5 kilometers of an allied ship. So let's check out the upgrades for the Picardie, and we went all secondary here. So secondary battery mod 2, which improves the secondary firing range and its dispersion. We always go with the propulsion mod 2 with the battleships. Increases the acceleration by 50%. And then concealment system mod 1, detectability range is improved, as is incoming fire dispersion. And that second part does scatter incoming shells. You hear people talk about that all the time, like all of a sudden their accuracy is a little bit off, and it could be because they have the incoming dispersion set to scatter. So there you go. Okay, so secondary battery mod 3 is the 4th upgrade slot, and that improves the secondary battery reload time. All right, and then the loadout have high explosive shells, armor piercing shells. For consumables, damage control party duration is 15 seconds, reloads every minute and 16 seconds, and those consumables are unlimited. You have 5 repair party consumables, as we said, and the HP per second recovered is 885 hit points per second. It runs for 14 seconds, but that is quite a lot of hit points right there. Almost 9,000 hit points, looks like. Reloads every 76 seconds, and as we said, there are 5 of those. Then we have the main battery reload booster. Main battery reload speed is improved by 50% when the booster is running, and the booster runs for 15 seconds, and it reloads every 171 seconds, and there are only 2 of those. And then here we have secondary, enhanced secondary targeting Mark II, it looks like. Secondary battery reload time is improved, as is the shell grouping dispersion. Duration is 42 seconds. Reload time is 133 seconds. And yeah, 3 of those. And we are maxing out our boosters, but that could change depending on the match. I went with the Jolly Roger flag. Why not? In honor of Michel Le Tir. How's that? The ship comes with a Type 9 premium permanent camouflage. Sea detectability range and incoming fire dispersion is 4.5% respectively. Specs: survivability hit points is 61,000 even. Armor is 12 to 350 millimeters. Torpedo damage reduction is almost 40%. Artillery, you have four turrets of 4 guns each, 305 millimeter. Firing range is 17.8 kilometers with this setup. Reloads every 27 seconds, but the traverse time is pretty horrid at 36 seconds, but that doesn't really, it doesn't matter as much as you would think. But here, the HE shells for the main guns are pretty weak at 3,500 and 15% chance of setting fire. Don't expect to set any fires on the Picardy, and the armor piercing is really nothing to write home about at 7450, but the part that shines here is the secondary armament. Reach out to 11.1 kilometers, reloads every 3.7 seconds, and they are pretty darn effective. Even though it looks like there's only 24 secondary guns, it still can get it done. AA defenses rated at 67. It might not be that great because those firing range is pretty short if you take a look at that. But you just have to see how it goes in battle. I have not experienced the Picardy in many aircraft carrier matches, so I don't really know how effective the secondaries are, regardless of what you see here. Maneuverability, maximum speed is 30.9 knots, almost 31 knots. Turning circle radius is pretty short at 700 meters. Rudder shift time is 13.4 seconds. Concealment is 12.4 kilometers. Range by sea, 10.4 by air. And if you're firing into smoke, it's 11.1. Same range as those secondaries. And then the armor. All right, so here you go. There is a lot of yellow armor here. And looks like 32 millimeter armor as well, and that looks pretty weak right here. So I'm not sure you really want to do bow tank, because if people can get past the outer armor, you can really wreck the Citadel right here. But it does have some protections, like on top right here. Those are pretty good protections, but it is kind of weak in the front, isn't it? So, yeah, if people can get past this, the 32 millimeter armor, your Citadel is completely vulnerable. So, as always, watch it. But, yeah, because of the outer protections, you might be okay. This is a little bit of a turtleback, I guess. So, all right, the overview, guns aplenty. High number of guns allow for a lot of damage from a single salvo. Well, let's hope that that's true if the accuracy is good enough to allow a hit. I'll just go ahead and say that. Barrage can be equipped with a main battery reload booster, and yeah, that has to help. Good concealment means the ship can get closer to enemies before being detected. So then here's a story on the Picardy. In 1912, France initiated the construction of larger docks and shipyards in Toulon and Brittany. By that time, the major naval powers were laying down ships significantly more advanced than their predecessors in terms of main caliber. France was also contemplating a shift toward a caliber of 14.6 to 15-inch guns. However, naval guns of this size were not yet accessible in France. As a solution, engineers opted to increase the number of smaller caliber guns, with the final design featuring as many as 16 guns housed in 4 turrets. Year of design was 1939, and there were no ships in the series. All right, well, we have that ship in the game right now, and let's go out and see what we can do in a standard battle with those awesome secondaries. All right, so here we go. This is a match in repose. There are 3 destroyers per side. one cruiser on the red team and the rest are battleships. So that is a lot of iron to go up against. And you can see that there is a 3-person division on the red team versus a 2-person division on the blue team. And yeah, we have jumped ahead right at the 3.5 minute mark. It's 11.5 minutes left in the match, and early on I was taking pot shots at long distance. Everyone was behind the island. I wasn't close up to anybody, and those were big misses because these main guns are just so terrible. So the next option is to move up close enough to let the secondaries do their thing, and that's what we've done right here. And we're down 2 ships, so this is not looking all that great. It looks like looks like a loss actually, and I think we go down eventually. We go down 3 ships. So yeah, okay, so Flandre takes out the Flandre. We do get a helping hand symbol, an assisted kill basically, and the helping hand is one medal that I have not acquired yet since that was introduced a few updates ago. So here, this Bayard looks like this is perfect because the island indicator did not come up. So we're going to take a shot on him, and we get 3 hits on him. That's pretty good accuracy, and the secondaries are starting to go on him. So we are definitely closing in. I'm looking around. I don't want to take a hit on my broadside, so I'm just closing up on this guy, and it looks like I have free reign to let the secondaries do their thing, and there is another assisted kill. And we're down. 4 ships on the blue team are destroyed versus 2 on the red team, and now we're down 5-2. So this is definitely 100% looking like a big time loss. And yeah, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, is there any way we could possibly have a come from behind victory, especially since we are down such a huge amount basically. So my big option now, I'm checking out the teams again to see what we have left, but my big shot now is to just close in on these guys, get within range, and hope that the secondaries can take care of business. That Flandre over there was kind of messaging me earlier in the match, and yeah, I assume that he recognizes the channel. I think he's one of the guys who are surviving at the end of the match, so he ended up being a pretty good teammate. And we are closing up on the Bismarck, and yeah, secondaries are starting to go on to Bismarck. You can see that I always constantly lock my secondaries on whatever is what I believe is the closest target, and a lot of times if I have a target on the other side of the main guns, there is a third assisted kill. So I will lock my secondaries on one target if the guns are on the other, main guns are on the other side. So I'm basically focusing on both sides. And here there is a little destroyer right there, and I probably should lock on him, but I don't. I've locked on the Nagato, it looks like. No, I'm locked on the Kansas. So we are just going to close up in here and get within secondary range. That's the big trick with the Picardy, is to close up with secondary range and let the secondaries do their thing with the enhanced secondary targeting. And here, spoiler alert, we are just going to chew these guys up. There's a close quarters expert that is on the Moss back over there. I didn't have to target him anyway, as it turns out, because he's the only guy over there. So the guns on the left side of the ship are going to take out, well, they're going to focus on the only ship that's there. And then now we are chewing away the Kansas, and the Kansas doesn't look like he's going to be around much longer. And we are closing in on 100,000 damage. There is another close quarters expert medal. We're taking sort of a blind shot at the Fletcher right there, and we get him for a double strike. So we are definitely coming in here and cleaning up house, and we are ahead in the match. And I don't really say this very often, but I do sort of believe that in this match anyway, that Picardy came in here and made the difference and swung the momentum from what was probably going to be a sure loss to now it's looking like a sure victory. Because if this guy comes out of the smoke, he is basically gone. So I'm checking out, reminding myself what the other destroyer is, and that's a Gajah-Madan. You can see his shells coming over here from the left. He is in the smoke screen right there, and we are trying to keep the island between us and the Gajah-Madan while we focus on the Nagato. So we do have our 3 destroyed ships already, and we do have another assisted kill. We're going to come over here and ding the Gajah-Madan. So if he gets taken out, we are going to get, well, we're going to get the helping hand medal if we can get the Gajah-Madan. So there you go. There is the helping hand medal, and we definitely came from behind and turned the momentum, and I think the Picardy was key to that. So here, check out these 4 medals. This is awesome. A helping hand, 2 close quarters experts, a double strike, and a high caliber medal. We're running all the epic boosters across the board. That's why we have huge XP numbers right here. 126,000 total damage performance on 62 main gun hits, 5 assisteds for that helping hand, 3 destroyed ships, 7 fires on those secondaries, 5 defendeds, and 219 secondary hits. So yeah, the Picardy definitely did its thing right there with Michel Le Tir commanding. And I'm just going to stick with Michel Le Tir with all those inspirations. And here, check this out. We basically have most of the medals in the match, and I don't know what the heck is going on with the XP, but I'm okay with 3rd place. We won the match, and I got to say that it was great fun, regardless of where I finished here on the list, but it was 3rd place. Probably the Summers captured a couple bases or something, but let's see how we did on the economy tab. 434,000 silver credits we cleared by the time it was all said and done. And that is your tier 7 premium ship making its hay with the economy. Your best bang for the buck with the economy and earning credits is tier 7 premiums. And that is it for my sea trials, my first look at the Picardy and the secondary build. I had the ship as a rental and it got awesome performance, and I gotta say nothing has changed, and this is just a spectacular ship as far as I'm concerned, and definitely worth your $10 investment for 2,500 doubloons for this month's Rose of the Picardy campaign. Let me know what you think down below. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.